So let's be honest about how we really got here. Our president decided he doesn't like the Somali community and he wants to destroy them. Speaker DeMuth and the GOP caucus sent a YouTuber out to create the narrative they want out there, not the truth, what they want you to believe. The child care system in Minnesota is very complicated, even for those of us who have worked in it for decades. So I can understand that it is easy to believe what you see on social media. But the truth is that Minnesota has guardrails in place to make defrauding the child care system extremely difficult. Minnesota does investigate suspected fraud in child care and hold people accountable, and they will continue to do so because fraud is never acceptable. But cutting off child care funding to everyone in the state is not the answer, and it's not acceptable.
waxaan rajeynayaa in dawladda stateku ay daycare ka noo dhaafaan dadkana dhibanayna aniga qabta.
And I request that our government supports our child care centers and stop this heinous crime and this hate that's happening around our state. Thank you.
If childcare is cut, I'm unable to work or go to school. I understand fraud is bad. My name is Deco Noor. I'm a parent who receives federal funding for childcare for my kiddo. Over 20,000 kids will lose access to childcare programs. And that, that 20,000, thousands of children rely on childcare and thousands of parents rely on childcare. Therefore, if childcare will, oh my God. I'm currently a medical student. I rely on childcare. I work. If childcare is cut, I'm unable to work or go to school. I understand fraud is bad.
Good is more than we receive. It is my understanding that the Department of Children, Youth and Families is working with their county partners, the teams at the OIG and the BCA on reports of alleged fraud, while the Trump administration continues to find any reason to defund public programs in order to give tax cuts to billionaires. Here in Minnesota, we are going to stay focused on fraud prevention and solutions that will actually make Minnesotans' lives better. DFLers will be doing everything that we can this session on top of fraud prevention to make sure that Minnesota stays a great place to live, work, and raise a family, even as Trump works to defund our state. Thank you.
In many cases, child care assistance is a crucial piece of survival. I'm generally scared for what can happen next if funding is stopped, and I can't help but think that this is part of a larger designed plan and strategy to cut public funding. And I do see some signs over here that say stop fraud, and I agree, stop it. There are wait lists for these programs that are years long. There is fraud, the fraud that is occurring is not at the hands of families. We need to be looking at who's in power, who's making decisions, who's guarding the purse strings of our tax dollars, my tax dollars too, and making sure that children have places to go that are safe for them to learn, parents can go to work, and providers can keep their doors open. That's what I have to say. I went a little off script. Thank you.
Family, I'ma keep it a buck with y'all. This scandal is Democrats' worst nightmare. Why? Because it ain't just a few bad apples getting caught up. It's exposing a whole system that's been built off of finesse, off of scamming the government, and off of our tax dollars. And you paying for this, I'm paying for this, and the people behind it, some of them sitting in nice offices, smiling in your face on TV, straight lies. Now, let me walk y'all through it. If you never cared about politics, if you think all this stuff is boring, stay with me. Just stay with me, because this one's different. This ain't about left or right. This is about how a whole community got caught running what looks like a massive scam. And instead of shutting it down, politicians out here defending it like it's noble, like we crazy for asking questions. Now, the community at the center of this, the Somali community in Minnesota, and I'm gonna say this off the rip. This ain't about race or religion, but when we got real evidence of fraud, arrests happening, millions, not millions, matter of fact, not millions, billions of dollars going missing, and the only person crying foul are politicians who took money from these folks. Nah, we got to talk about it. So let me break this down for you real simple. You ever had a friend who got free lunch at school, but they were selling it on the side, or someone on food stamps, but they running a side hustle, flipping them benefits for cash, multiply that by $1 billion, okay? Throw it in some fake daycare centers and put some elective officials on payroll. That's the level we talking about. And now that the feds pulled up and started knocking on doors, all of a sudden these same folks panicking, crying, holding press conferences, playing the victim, saying people are targeting their community. But the truth is, the jig is up. The scam is being exposed. And let me tell you something that really don't make sense. These same politicians, the ones defending all this, they the ones who be yelling for universal daycare. We need more children. We need more funding. All of that, right? But here's the kicker. Turns out we already had universal daycare, just not how you think. These daycares were getting money as if they were watching kids, but the kids weren't even there. The families were getting checks from the government to send, quote unquote, send their kids to daycare. But guess what? Ain't no kids to no daycare. No snacks, no coloring books, just ghost kids on paper, straight scan. And this is where it gets deeper. See, culturally, and look, a lot of traditional Muslim households, especially Somalian ones, the women don't work outside the house. They stay home, take care of the kids. That's a lifestyle choice based on religion and tradition. And I ain't knocking it. That's their way. But if that's the case, why the hell is there a daycare on every corner? For what? You ain't sending your kid nowhere. You raising them yourself, right? So who's using all these daycare services? Nobody. Not in real life, but on paper. Oh, everybody got kids in daycare. Everybody eating off the government plate. Y'all see where I'm going with this? Follow me. Follow me. It don't add up though. That's what I'm trying to say. It don't add up, not culturally, not logically, not legally. And it only makes sense if you realize it was never about helping kids. It was about milking the system. And now that the walls are closing in, these people, the people running these fake daycares, they making up wild stories, right? Don't take my word for it. I want you guys to check it out for yourself. Let's go.
Of what they say vandals did. Now, this is where they say the vandals got into the daycare through cinder block and appeared to be unsuccessful when trying many other ways. The daycare says it appears the vandals first tried to saw into the door of the Family Dollar next door in the shopping center, but that didn't work. The manager claims those who broke in went straight to the office, stealing information of the many children who were taken care of here.
We are not a part of any harmful things that are being said. We have no problem with CCAP, and our licensing has been good. Even the inspections. I want to say no intimidation is going to stop us.
Oh, really? So one dude, no joke, said somebody broke into his daycare and stole all the documents. Like, bro, really? The exact paperwork the feds wants to see just happens to vanish in thin air. Couldn't even say someone took money. Nah, just important documents like enrollment records, staff info, payment books, staff that could prove whether or not he's legit. And what happened into this day and age of things being digitized? Don't you have a backup hard drive or anything that you would think you would have records wise to make sure that these crucial information, if it happened to be a case where a break-in your daycare occurs, that you still have some type of backup solution to still have these records on file, right? But it's about the kids, right? But that's like getting pulled over by the cops and the officer be like, oh, I did have my license, officer, but someone broke into my car last night and only took that. That's what that sounds like, right? Come on, man. That the dog ate my homework. Oh, um My homework got wet. You know all those child excuses. Oh well, my sibling got mad and ripped up my homework. That's what this sound like. And even crazier, this dude told the media one story, but the release report says he never even reported nothing stolen. That's the crazy part. So we gonna go into this New York Post article. And it says Minnesota Somali run daycare bizarrely reports their documents were stolen in mysterious break-in, but cops tell a different story. And as it reads, a Somali run daycare in Minneapolis is claiming someone broke in and stole important documents, but cops say the facility didn't report anything was actually taken. The alleged burglary comes as the national spotlight shines on the unfolding multi-billion-dollar fraud scandal involving Minnesota Human Services, with particular scrutiny on daycare facilities run by Somali immigrants after dozens of people from the community have been busted for pilfering state funds. Nasrullah Muhammad, manager of Nokomis Daycare Center, told reporters that a suspect entered through the kitchen at the rear of the facility, damaging a wall and breaking into the building's office sometime on Tuesday. He said the alleged prowl stole important documentation, including children's enrollment information, employee documentation, and checkbooks. However, no loss was reported to officers. According to a preliminary report by Minneapolis Police Department, MPD noted that the center later reached out with additional information, but the updated police report was not immediately available. Video of perpetrated break-in and shared by Nokomis Daycare Center showed a hole in the wall and what happened to be a utility closet with nearly stacked piles of cinder blocks behind the dry wall. Muhammad blamed last week's viral video by YouTuber Nick Shirley, and shout out to Nick Shirley, he's doing the Lord's work, in which he visited nearly a dozen daycare facilities looking for evidence of fraud for the incident. I wouldn't say he's looking for evidence of fraud. I think he was just checking out the centers to see how do you enroll and looking for information to debunk or see if this is really a scam or sham type of operation. I mean, at the end of the day, you should be able to have access to information, especially if you get in federal funds. All you had to do is give the guy information, right? But if you move kind of sus, I mean, you created a narrative for yourself as a business and how you operate as a business. And if you're moving funny, I believe if you're getting federal monies that, and for the sake and out of respect for taxpayer citizens, you should be checked and looked into. That's all. And if everything's legit, it's legit. However, moving on to the article again, this is devastating news, and we don't know why this targeting our Somali community, as one video made by a specific individual made this all happen. He said, claiming they received hateful and threatening messages over the last several days. And that's the wall. This is frightening and exhausting, he said, calling Shirley reporting false. Nokomis Daycare Center was not one of the facilities featured in Shirley's video, which had been reviewed over 110 million times. At least $1 billion in fraud has been uncovered by authorities in Minneapolis so far, including fraudulent food, housing, and child care payments, with warnings from the U.S. Attorney's Office that the true figure could be as high as $9 billion. 92 people have been arrested in connection with the scheme, 80 of whom are Somali immigrants. So there you have it, folks. There you have it. And my whole thing with this thing is, right? You go to the media and tell one story, but then you don't do a police report. I mean, the first thing you should do is when you see something sus or a break-in your facility is call the police, right? You don't do anything or try to alter any type of evidence because you don't want to get your hands dirty or in the regards of the mess, look like you're the one doing it. You're better off letting the authorities handle it, go there, do their investigations, and leave things as they are. That's how it's supposed to be done. So either this guy is lying to the media or lying to the cops or both. And let's be honest, it's probably an inside job, create fake drama, destroy the evidence, play the victim. That's why I believe, Pam Bondi and Trump, I believe they move too slow on this and they being super nice. And you just brought yourself some time playing victim and running to the victim Olympics. And you already know who showed up to defend them, right? Liberologists, right? Liberals showed up to defend them, as you see them standing in the background. And look, I ain't got no problem with anybody personally. Every time someone like this goes down, they show up with the "we must protect marginalized communities" speech. Never mind the facts, never mind the numbers, never mind the billions of dollars that's going. It's all about feelings, and that's why nothing ever changes, and that's why the fraud keeps flowing. So let's check it out, right? Look at all the people. Look
My
at
name is Nasrullah Mohammed. That is spelled Nasrullah. I'm the manager at Nokomis Daycare Center, and today I want to talk about what happened yesterday. Yesterday morning, I was called by the owner because unfortunately someone came in to our daycare. The cleaner called the owner and told him what happened and the vandalism that happened. The owner called us. Me and another manager came into the scene around 6 a.m. We looked and saw what happened, and we saw that the suspect came in from the back, broke in from the back kitchen, and he also destroyed the wall to come in. As he came in, he broke a door from the wall from Family Dollar from the side. He couldn't, unfortunately, we don't know if that he went in or not, but we saw that it was damaged. As we walked around the daycare, we saw that.
We don't know if he went in or the wall or not, but we saw that it's damaged. Like, bro, are you making this up as you go? Because the lady right here, the liberal apologist right here, holding the racism has no place in childcare, right here with the blonde hair, she looking at him like, look at her eyes, though. I'll peep everything. Look at her eyes, like, bro, are you making sense, bro? Make sure you make sense. Don't make us look crazy. Look at her eyes. See how she looking at her? Look at her. She like, bro, you don't even know what you're talking about. But this is what I mean, though. Fraud doesn't have a race. Fraud isn't racism. Fraud isn't no skin color. It's fraud. It's an action based on self-enrichment and obviously lying to benefit from it. So I don't understand what racism has to do with childcare. And this is what I mean. If you call out fraud as racist, taxpayer money, yeah, I don't get it. So you can't reform a system that's built on fraud. You got to tear it down and start over. This ain't just one dude lying about daycare. This is a whole operation and whole political party that looks like they've been protecting it. And bro, $1 billion has already been recovered, and the feds think the real number might be 9 billion, and that's billion with a B. 92 people have been arrested, 80 of them Somali immigrants. Those are the ones they caught. Right? One YouTuber, Nick Shirley, dropped a video exposing this. He went around filming these daycare spots that looked empty, ghost towns. And look, now the scammers want to blame him for getting robbed, even though his video didn't even show that business and how he couldn't go in there, right? He was just in the front door. Nobody wanted to give him information. If anything, Nick Shirley treatment could be a form of racism because in his video, she said, I'm scared of you because of your skin color when he went to one daycare center. So he actually got treated different because of his color, but the deflected and the gaslighting, oh, racism has no place in childcare. Well, it already shows that you have bias towards you don't want to have a certain race to even embrace as a customer for their child to get dropped off so they can go work, which is the sole purpose of your business is to have kids in a safe place while working class average American family or working class family could go work while their child is in a safe place to learn and play and be amongst their peers. But this is how desperate they are. You can't make this stuff up. The walls are closing in, the scams falling apart, and the people who have been feeding off of it now they crawling foul, calling everybody racist, trying to spin a story. But the truth is, it's too loud now. This ain't getting no going away. Not this time. This fraud runs deep, and it's exposing everybody that's been in on it, especially the politicians who was getting donations, kickbacks, and playing dumb the whole time. And look, if you still believe this whole "we got robbed, now the evidence is gone" story, look, man, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Victim Olympics is crazy out here. This is open and act, and we just getting started. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Spread that peace, love, and positivity. Let the love supersede the hate. And as always, we just having a conversation. Catch you in the next one. Peace.